Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the parallel session 1B. I am Nurish Raza, the MC for this session. I also would like to greet our distinguished speakers from Thailand, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh, and also our moderator from Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, the main topic of this session is the building inclusive communities for environment and business sustainability through SSE initiatives. For the next 1+ hours, or up till 1 p.m., together we will have about 4 papers presentation and to be discussed with our speakers and moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to invite our speakers, the head of Social Solidarity and Inclusive Economy in Asia, Mr. Akanu Watana Sombud, the environmentalist, Ms. Zulaka Rashid, the co-founder of Impact York Development Services, Mr. Indranil Kamakar, the sociologist and executive director of Nokali Rural Development Society, Mr. Abdul Awal, and our moderator, Dr. Alizan Mahadi from UNDP Malaysia. Please come to the front to start the session.
Okay, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Parallel Session 1, Building Inclusive Communities for Environmental and Business Sustainability through SSE Initiatives. I think the first panel session this morning already really set the scene well, especially when we talk about SSE. We've heard SSE, for example, it is driven by values. We've heard SSE is usually at the grassroots level, and some other core features of the SSE, such as being democratic, driven by communities, primacy of people, and also, I think, over time, also over environment as well. Now, just to spice things up a bit, this all sounds very good, but in reality, is it being implemented or not? And I think, as we've heard, Dr. Ben also was saying, these case studies will showcase what are some of those SSE initiatives that are actually happening on the ground, what are some of the models that are being implemented, and also, I hope we can also discuss some of those challenges as well in implementing SSE. On that note, once again, I'm very privileged to be moderating this session with very distinguished speakers who I believe will showcase not only from an academic point of view, but from a practical point of view, some of the SSE initiatives. I have with me Mr. Akanud Watanasombut from Thailand. Welcome. We have Indranil Karmakar from India. And also Mr. Abdullah from Bangladesh as well. I think we are maybe missing one speaker here as well, Ms. Zulaka Rashid from Pakistan. On that note, can I give the floor to first Mr. Akanud Watanasombut to present his paper on turning trash into treasure, Subhan Buri's SSE-driven pathway from waste management to sustainable development. You have about 15 minutes to deliver your paper presentation. Please, Mr. Akanud, the floor is yours.
My name is Akkanat. I'm come from Bangkok. I work in Chulalongkorn University. Recently, I conducting a research on studies the landscape of the social and solidarity economy in Thailand for the ILO, so that I have chance to interview many of the business entities that can be referred to under the definition of the social and solidarity economy. And I found one very interesting case studies which I would like to share with you today. So I'm going to present my paper. There are lots of details, more in details. If you're interested, you can scan the QR and read the paper, the full paper, around 3,000 pages, not that much, not sorry, 3,000 words, sorry. All right, okay, turning trash into treasure, Subhan Buri's SSE-driven pathway from waste management to sustainable development. The names of the business entity that I'm going to share with you is the Subhan Buri Garbage Revolution Community Enterprise in Suphanburi, which is like 60 kilometers from Bangkok. And the core activity of the group, which they are community enterprise, which that they would like to attack the problems of the plastic waste by creating a small group and then turn it into a community enterprise. The idea was to have the so-called pyrolysis plant. If you are not from the science things, the pyrolysis was a little bit difficult to understand, but let's make it easy. Was that the pyrolysis is a process that you convert plastic waste back into fuel. In order to get plastic back, actually we will have to do the petroleum refinery, and then we have plastic, right? So this is like convert it back from plastic into fuel, okay? But it's just expensive compared to the capacity of the community itself. The cost of the small-scale pyrolysis plant was about 1.6 million baht, or it's about 45,000 US dollars. So it's quite big money for the community, but slowly they convince the communities and people in the community nearby to get together that money, and Chulalongkorn University kind of give them technical support, like how to create these small plants, And people may think that, well, this pyrolysis plants is the innovation, but from their point of view, they said, no, this is not innovation. This is already out there for years. For them, what they proudly present as their community innovation is their business model, which I would show later. One small thing, I did ask the leaders that why you use the term such revolution. It's very strong term. And they said, well, you must understand that we are in a process that transform is too slow. We must do something right away in a very collective way. So that's why they use the term revolution. That's very impressed. Okay, and this is the leader, the women, Pirada. In my paper, I describe how she retired from the computer science businesses and go back to her hometown, and she found that, well, plastic waste was a big problem that she would like to tackle. So she tried to convince people in the community to get together and establish the community enterprise. And I would switch to their business model here. Okay, all right. So at the beginning, they have like 40 members. So they get money collectively from their members, 1.6 million baht to have the small pyrolysis plants. And the idea was that the members, if you like to be a member, you're supposed to engage by paying a member fees. But they don't accept money. They already have big money from the member, right? So they encourage members to sell the plastic bag, and they count it as a member fee for this group. And the group buy the plastic bag 2 baht per kilograms from its members, and they use that plastic bag in the pyrolysis process, and then they sell the fuel back to their members at the price of 22 baht, which much lower than the market rate. The market rate was like something like 40 bahts, see, a little bit more expensive than Malaysia. And then by doing that, the member will have to kind of pre-sorting at their household level. Right? They will have to categorize the plastic bag, PP, PE, PET, right? And then they sell to the group, and then the group process the fuel came and then sell it back to the member. See, so this is how they work, and it's become very successful. And they also create some revenue. They got a small profit out of it, but the members decided democratic way, like they would not use the profit, to share, but they would use that profit for some other community activity. So later they found another foundation called Rat Pitak Sing Wat Lom Foundation. Yeah. And that Rat Pitak Sing Wat Lom really mean the people protect environment. See, so now they have another body as a foundation for charity activities. The business activities, they use the community enterprise. See, the profit they never share because the member already got benefits from selling plastic waste and buying cheap fuel back, right? So this is their model, and they also very strong in terms of campaigning. They work closely with schools in the communities, not only in their province. Right now, they were invited all over Thailand. So they went to the schools. They teach students how to separate different types of plastics, and they welcome communities from all over Thailand. So right now, the latest information that I got from them, there are already 4 communities from different parts of Thailand that would like to start the same things, even using the same name. You see? Buriram Garbage Revolution Community Enterprise. See, and this is still going on. And I using the SSE framework and the feminist quality of business entities and the SDGs to examine the activities of this group. And I found that, well, there are many of the SSE feminist quality of business entities and the SDGs that align with their activities. See, I put it in the table. I think I don't have time to explain, so I would like to jump into the conclusions that by studying the activities of this Suphanburi Garbage Revolution Community Enterprise, I saw that they kind of jumps from accumulation to capacitation. They jumped from the state market-led development into synergy between stakeholders in the community. They transform science, from academics into local knowledge, and from growth poles to participation, sustainability, and democratization process. When I interview the group, I asked them, "Do you familiar with the term SDGs?" She said, "Oh, SDG is very famous, so we kind of familiar. But when we started this, we know nothing about the SDGs. And what about SSE?" She said, "Oh, we kind of heard of it these days. We love the term solidarity because it reflects what we are doing, but we're not really know exactly what it is." See, and what about feminist, value of business entity? She said, "Well, we don't know that much about feminism, but now here, women and men are equal, right?" So apparently, no matter you call it SSE, SDG, whatsoever, it's just a good business manner. They said that they do it. They don't have anything in their mind about the terms and the frameworks. They do it because they believe that it's good for themselves, for the community, and for the earth.
Thank you, Akana. And I think that was a very impressive summary as well, pointing to the fact of the importance of the values rather than the terminologies used. Strong terminologies have been used there. Revolution, even solidarity, sometimes can be misconstrued of terms that may be linked to communism or something along those lines. But I think, again, the focus on those values. But I think what is really impressive is this model, I think you explained more in your paper as well, that is essentially a membership fee model, but not necessarily monetary. Yeah? You trade the plastic, and I think that's very, very impressive, and one model that can be maybe replicated, but you know, quite an innovative model. Okay, from Thailand we move to India. Can I invite Mr. Indranil Karmakar to give his paper presentation on leveraging corporate social responsibility to achieve the SDGs. Please, floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Indranil, and I represent India in this conference, and I represent a for-profit company called Impact Yoga Development Services, and we are based out of Calcutta, India. Many of you must have the name of this city. So thanks to MySDG Academy and APP GM for giving me this opportunity to present before you. Next slide, please. I think. So basically, first to begin with the background that what SDGs are. SDGs, before that, I would like to give you an explanation of the topic that I have chosen. That is leveraging corporate social responsibility to achieving the sustainable development goals in India. So how India is thinking to achieve SDGs through corporate social responsibility. So this is a kind of business and government collaboration along with the civil societies to achieve the SDG. So the background is, you all know that SDGs were adopted in the year 2015 with 17 goals. And the realization of these goals was a call for a collaborative action by the 3 development pillars that are corporate, government, and the civil societies. So India, along with other countries, before the SDGs came into action, was having a national development agenda through the Planning Commission of India, or Niti Aayog. Now it has been renamed. So India was already planning how they can achieve several goals in terms of giving a standardized development model to the world. But it was not globalized then. So now, after the SDGs came into power, India has aligned that national development agenda along with the SDGs in the country. However, the achievement of the goals may not be possible with government initiatives alone. It must need the collaborative action between both the other 2 development pillars, that are civil society and the businesses or the corporate. So I would like to brief you about the CSR in India. What is actually CSR called? So CSR is not a new thing for India. Corporate social responsibility has been a legacy for India in many companies like Tata's, like Aditya Birla's, Mahindra's. They have been doing this for many decades. But CSR came as a regulation or as a mandate for all the companies, given in the bracket in the last point you can see. So this is the bracket for which companies will come under CSR. So this came into action in the year 2014, before SDGs came. My objective of this paper was just to ensure that how the CSR law is aligning with the SDG goals and how both these things can make a way out in achieving the SDGs. So the CSR fund is all about mandating the companies to invest 2% of their business profit towards social development. The amount which is collected from that 2%. So businesses are expected to proactively identify the social problems in the communities and implement solutions to overcome those challenges. So the businesses already having that kind of resources which actually can help in achieving the SDGs. So the objective of the study was to define the SDG and CSR, because CSR is a new thing for the world, which is already being observed in India for a decade now, because it is observing 10th year in 2024. To validate the situational analysis of CSR law with the SDGs in India, to discuss the main potential of India to achieve SDGs, and to identify how collaboration could be the key way in leveraging CSR to achieve SDGs. So this was the objective. So now I would focus on how CSR and SDGs are interlinked with each other. So SDGs and CSR both were implemented or formulated around the same time, 2014, 2015. And it has seemingly had a tremendous potential to develop a cohesive sustainable growth model, both in a same line, you can say. The CSR regulation had a broad framework which can be directed towards a sustainable future and achieving the SDGs. The CSR law defines Schedule 7 under the Section 135 of the Companies Act 2013, where it mentions 12 broad activities under which the companies should act and under which the companies should perform their activities in CSR. So, in Schedule 7 and in SDGs, you will get a very correlated terms, a correlated definitions, which actually define that both of these are very much aligned with each other. In the last 8 years, now it has become 10 years actually, this is a 2 years before study, CSR has risen to $3 billion US funding, which is huge, around 25,000 crore INR, which is a very serious thing which the government is looking into. The government is now more strengthening the CSR law in India, and it is aligning with the SDGs as well. So it is a clear indication that there has been a growing interest among the corporates towards implementing CSR projects and parallelly for achieving the SDGs. So these are the Schedule 7 points. The 12 points you can see, 11 points. So the 12th point came after COVID-19, because COVID-19 has been a very learning experience for the whole world. And Indian government has introduced the COVID-19 as a 12th point in the Schedule 7 in the year 2021. So the first point in the Schedule 7 mentions the eradicating hunger, poverty, malnutrition. So this is aligned with the SDG 1, 2, 3, and 6. The second point is promoting education and the vocational training, which covers or contributes to SDG 1, 2, 4, and 8. Promoting gender equality or empowering women. This is linked with the SDG 1, 5, and 10. The fourth point is ensuring environmental sustainability, ecological balance, or climate crisis, addressing the climate crisis, so which relates with the SDG 6, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, and 15. This is not working. Can you go to the next slide? Before this. So the fifth point is protection of national heritage. As you all know that India has a lot of historical monuments across the country. So that has to be protected. And in the year 2014, government has prescribed that the businesses can also contribute towards protecting the heritage of India. And the SDG 9 and 11 is aligned with this point. Measuring the benefit of armed forces, war veterans, war widows, and their dependents, which falls under SDG 3, 4, and 8. Next is promoting sports, which is SDG 8 and 10. And contribution to the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund, which almost every countries have. So India also have, which correlates with SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 15. There is contribution towards the technology incubators, or the startups, or the new innovations in technology. So that was also taken care of in the year 2014, which correlates with SDG 9, 13, and 12. And the last one is rural development projects, which actually covers every aspect of development of the communities, which correlates with SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. So these are the 12 points which has been mentioned in the CSR law. And from law perspective, if you see that it is very much aligned with the SDG. how collaboration could be the key way in leveraging CSR to achieve SDGs. So for India to successfully achieve the SDGs, it is very important that we have a well-aligned collaborative network between the three development pillars: government, private, and the civil societies. And these civil societies not only mentions the NGOs, but also the educational institutions, the community-based organization, the community itself. Because everyone is working for that thing, that is community. In order to effectively execute the sustainable growth agenda and fostering partnership, the growth or the SDG targets could be easily achieved if the collaboration happens between these three pillars. Private sector can bring a fresh perspective for the path set for achieving SDGs, because they have unlimited resources, not in terms of contributing to the business or development of economy in a country, but also the social development of a country. Wherever their factories are, they are contributing there. They are contributing for the development of that community in and around their factories and other locations where they are operating. The stakeholders also can design a roadmap until 2030, the year which is a prospective year for achieving the SDGs. So these are the 4 conclusive points which actually suggest that CSR practices should be interlinked with the SDGs. And this is the call for action for all the corporates in India, that they should align all of their activities, whatever they're doing, among the 12 broad points, they must be aligned with the SDGs. According to the findings of this paper, this was a very short paper, in fact. According to the findings of this paper, SDGs are becoming popular among the corporates. They are thinking about this, and they are trying to give a global perspective to the National Development Agenda that was led by the Planning Commission in the year 2012-13. The results of the current study also shows that Indian corporates are easily taking the activities and aligning with the SDGs. It is also strongly recommended that business organizations should align SDGs in their business model, not only in the CSR policy, but also in the business model. And in fact, in the 2023, the progress report of the SDGs, it has been a very concerning year for achieving the SDGs. There has been several hindrances, weaknesses in the report that has been mentioned. So the time has come to act now, and CSR can play a big role, not in terms of only funding, but also in terms of sharing their resources for achieving the SDGs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian, for presenting your short paper, not 3,000 pages, no, 3,000 words. But a few things came out there. I think one is really interesting that I must say I was ignorant about is the CSR law in India. I'm not sure any other country has a regulation directly related to CSR, because this is something usually is part of what you can call private governance. Secondly, when you talk about models, of course, this is completely different than the first paper in the sense that this is regulatory, it is top-down as well by government, and it focuses more on bigger businesses. I'm not sure if MSMEs have to comply. Smaller businesses as well, okay. But perhaps being top down, the question then, I do have a kind of question in my head, maybe we can get to this later, is whether it is a part of an SSE initiative, but also whether it can provide the enabling environment for SSE initiatives at the community level because of the requirement of allocating 2% to community projects. So there's something we can ponder maybe later. Okay, last but certainly not least, we will go to Mr. Abdullah from Pakistan, who will be presenting. Sorry? No, from Bangladesh, sorry. We had a speaker from Pakistan as well, supposed to be here. I must say as well, I'm very mindful of the fact that this is a session with all only men, but we were supposed to have we were supposed to have a speaker from Pakistan who was a lady. So sorry, Mr. Abdullah from Bangladesh on building inclusive grassroots communities through promoting SSE initiatives. Please, Mr. Abdullah, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alizan Mehdi, eminent speakers and eminent participants. I think here almost all are academic and researcher and really trying to find out the way out from this horrible situation in the world where people are divided and many people are behind in the race and they are losing always and they are in a problem. I'm a grassroots activist. I live in a small town in the very much coastal part of Bangladesh and I work with farmers community. Today I will try to just give some overview of my experience very much related to the people's process, how people and farmers community can organize and can really promote their business activity and get help from small business communities, CSOs, etc. How can I change this? Thank you so much. Okay. So at the beginning, I would like to touch, actually was what have been said in the plenary also, many issues. To me, this presentation is basing on my own learning, promoting inclusive community building process at local level. And we work with the framework of SDGs and SDG localization, a revitalized global partnership for sustainable development. We give emphasis on this point of global partnership. Partnership in between people to people corporate, people, corporate, government, global actors, and as a whole, the global community. Leaving no one behind is the core pillar of SDGs that must be fulfilled by our plans and actions to achieve sustainable livelihood in all communities. That is the main premise. In order to realize everyone's right to employment and right to life with dignity, the neoliberal market solutions already proved inefficient to achieve SDGs. As alternative, we need to build up solidarity kind of economy and community collaboration for achieving peace, harmony, and self-development. Before going to my overviews in general, I just like to review again the context. To fulfill the SDG commitments requires transformation of economy, economic, social, and political structure, and also business models at all levels, from local to global. The world made some progress on SDGs from 2015 to 29, although this was immensely insufficient to achieve the goals. In the morning session, we heard that only 18 countries are on track. So most of the countries are off track, and we have already passed halfway. We have only 6 to 7 years' time. And SDGs are seriously off track now since the outbreak of pandemic in 2020 and consequent economic crisis due to war in Europe and war in many places. SDG progress have been stuck in the both north and the south also. So the disruptions caused by this multiple crises has aggravated livelihood crisis of the poor, marginalized people living in the remote communities. That is my key context analysis. I think all will be agreed. And to us, when we've gone through this concept of social and solidarity economy, it refers a wide range of economic activities that aim to prioritize social profitability instead of purely financial profit. SSC initiative can bring better opportunity of local employment and also fulfill environmental responsibility by promoting environment-friendly products, ethical consumption, as a process of facilitation to the farming communities to use naturally grown grass item could play an important economic activity to use market opportunity for the local farmer to national and international level. My organization is a small one, and we, as a local CSO, we took initiative to organize farming communities, especially the women folk, who have been producing hogla mats for local market with low price and gradually losing market due to growing market of non-biodegradable plastic products. Hogla is a locally available seagrass utilized for producing grass items for local uses only, mats for local users. The organization, as part of its business development services, provided support to marginalized women groups, started work with the farmers organization and provided training on product development by utilizing local raw materials available locally, which grow naturally, especially in the riverside and some lowland areas in the greater Noakhali, just in the coastline. So this was our beginning, and we formed initially 2 farmers' organizations in one union, and then later it was 9. Okay, we produced a total 5,000 women are currently producing rope for basketry item. Those are good quality biodegradable items. The production process has 2 steps at work. A large group of producers make rope as material to make basketry, and skilled women groups produce basketry product for the market. The initiative succeeded by promoting improved production development skill for making high quality basketry item. Producers joined training, worked together in a common production center. An initiative created really opportunity for rural women in their, close to their own homestead area in their village. And as part of the value chain, the local entrepreneurs were engaged. From the farmers, some very strong leadership identified by them who took the leadership role to link from the village to the district and to the national level. Along with producer groups, a number of national level entrepreneurs also are now coming up and engaged with the business and contributing earning foreign currency from export market. Consequently, new farmer groups are taking initiative. Now it is spread out, in a very big area. Thousands of women are making rope and supplying to the local entrepreneur, those who are their people, and they are selling to the national market. So the local producers and the entrepreneurs gain better business skill and dreaming to export the products directly from local to global market. That would be possible if the whole political paradigm is changed, transformed, and state is coming up to support all kind of cooperatives and the producer groups so that they can really do better business at national and international level. So this is their dream. Learning. A socially responsible community-based business model impact social, cultural, and economic life of community. In an extremely conservative society, our society is very, very conservative. Women are not allowed to go out to work in the village. Though this paradigm is already shifted because many of the poor women, they migrated to the cities. They work in the garments, factories. So this is again another contrast, When they are living in village, they are very much restricted. Now these taboos and this situation are really changing. Women folks are engaged in business activities, has created positive change in the society in order to promoting and ensuring empowerment of rural women Through productive employment, the initiative contributed to inclusive and sustainable economic growth in that area. As apart from the success in production and business, in the present context of crisis, income and wage earning of the producers are big challenge to achieve better livelihood. It's a really big challenge. The producers are encountering continuous price hike of commodities in the market. In Bangladesh, who are tracking Bangladesh, you may know, that might impact the sustainability of work and business in future. It's because it's a market issue. The wages yet to be raised by doing better business, better profit for the community. I would like to conclude my discussion in this way. There is a prediction from the large group of thinkers and economists that ensured that unemployment is going to rise again. We met an ILO representative, ILO forecast, that we may face. So we need to take action for localization of SDGs and actions to support community-based production and business enterprises. Unfortunately, government don't have that kind of, so this is the opportunity for us to do better advocacy with the parliamentarian, government, and with the politician. Civil society and political actors should come together to support community-centric, self-managed, environment-friendly, labor-intensive form of production, mode of production, and form of entrepreneurship. It's a new entrepreneurship. Small entrepreneur, those who are really intelligent in the village. So we call them entrepreneur. So this is very much needed. Need to demand a transformative change to take responsibility for people and the planet by promoting social and solidarity economy. Actions needed at different level, from policy to practice. Finally, legislation needed for state responsibility to progressively support solidarity economy. This kind of words is not used in my country. We are trying to really popularize these words of solidarity mechanism, social and solidarity pattern of economy. We are only talking that we should look the situation of the people. So the farmers, people, and the community, they should get attention, not the mega and big projects, whatever happening in the whole Asia. We need to look to the people so that the people can save the planet, people can be the part of the whole process of the society, and we can see a new world by 2030. Though I am a bit skeptical, maybe we need more time. But we should follow, we should track this Agenda 2030, and we should be an activist actor to raise this issue everywhere. So I am raising this issue. Thank you very much for listening me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah. I think you eloquently started by zooming out into the importance of the SDGs at the global level, and you zoomed in focusing on the farming community in Bangladesh, and also then you zoomed out back into addressing mega trends such as increase in unemployment in the future. But I think what was interesting as well, again talking about models before this, was the importance of value chain development and linking many of these farming communities with especially the global value chain. Again, maybe we can hear a bit more about that. Okay, thank you to all the speakers for your very impressive presentations, very diverse as well, I would say. As we have heard this morning, SSE can come into all types of different models, all types of different features, and I think we have heard from 3 different experiences in terms of SSE initiatives.